This video is brought to you by my two books, Practical Music Theory for the Rock Guitarist and The Blues Guitar Bible. Want to learn about modes, harmony, scales, chord substitution and keys? Or maybe you're interested in supercharging your blues guitar rhythm and lead chops. Whatever you're interested in, I guarantee you will be hitting the fast lane to progress with either of these works. Both feature video demonstrations and tutorials, loads of tabs and jam tracks to play along with, and I promise you, everything is explained in crystal clear plain English. Check out the links in the description for more details. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. Today is the second in the current series of these Wednesday videos where I'm basically going through how to record at home. Or how I do it at least anyway. Please don't take this as any sort of definitive guide of do's and don'ts. These are just the things that I've found work for me, and if they work for me, they'll probably work for you as well. Last week we looked at the software, your DAW, which, Reaper is my digital audio workstation of choice, and, getting the drum track created using MT Power Drum Kit. If you missed that video and you kind of want to see how all that's done, then that video also has links to the relevant software in the description. I'll put a link to that video in the description for this one. Anyway, what we're talking about today is how to get guitar sounds like this. Yes, indeed, acoustic, recording acoustic. I do love to put an acoustic guitar into pretty much everything that I do, because I just think that even if you don't perceive it, if it's just there behind a big kind of chunky overdriven electric guitar, it does add another dimension and more depth to what's going on. It's something that I just like the sound of, so that's what I tend to do. Anyway, there are many different ways of recording acoustic guitar. You can, kind of get it all mic'd up and do it that way. You can use a combination of mics on the inside and outside of the guitar, or outside and inside. You can use onboard pickups and all manner of stuff, but this is how I go about doing it.
Here is the explanation.
Okay, so the first thing that I suppose I should confess to, you possibly know this anyway, is that I don't mic up an acoustic to record it. This is my sort of workhorse acoustic, a Harley Benton custom line CLD-15MCEVS, as I often say, trips off the tongue, doesn't it? And it's got basically a Fishman kind of pickup system in it, and I always just record via a cable into my interface from here. Let's have a listen to what that in its raw form sounds like. Yeah, it's quite obviously a DI'd acoustic sound, isn't it? It'd work on stage, in the context of a live environment, but you know, for recording, you want something a little bit more convincing. So what I use is an acoustic impulse response. There's dozens of these that you can get, well, probably dozens of hundreds of these that you can get for free online. Just Google search them. What I'll do is I'll put a link in the description below this video to the one that I use. Download it yourself and use it in the way I'm going to show you now. Basically, all you do is the track that you're recording the acoustic guitar onto, there'll be a way of inserting an effect onto that track, and what you need to find is an impulse response loader. Reaper comes with an impulse response loader in the form of the Reverb VST that comes bundled in with Reaper, and just load that impulse response, which is basically a WAV file, into that, and apply that effect to the whole track that you've recorded the guitar onto, and it'll sound like this. So that gets it a little bit more, or a little bit less piezo, however you want to pronounce that word, the acoustic pickup. It kind of irons out that sort of plasticiness a little bit. And to just make it a bit of a bigger sound, what I then do is I always double track all of my rhythm guitar parts, whether it's an acoustic guitar or an electric guitar. And if we do that, it sounds like this. Of course, I forgot to mention there, double track, record the same thing twice and pan them hard left and right. You will not, I repeat, you will not get a double tracked sound if you just record the same thing, copy and paste it to another track, and then pan those two tracks left and right. You'll just get a louder mono signal down the middle. Basically, double tracking relies on the minute differences between the two performances to give it that bigger sound, in like a stereo kind of manner. So we've got a double tracked acoustic guitar that's sounding, you know, not quite so plasticky and plugged in. What am I going to do now? Well, this is where I use some of the available effects in Guitar Rig. I very rarely use any of the amp models in Guitar Rig, but I do find that the effects and stuff in there to be massively useful. Two that I use here are I think it's the one of the compressors. You'll see which one it is at the moment. VC76, I think it's called, and there's an acoustic guitar preset on there, and then there's a nice studio reverb in Guitar Rig as well, where I use the stairwell preset. Here's me setting that up and what it sounds like. So that's a pretty big, nice, fat, chunky guitar sound. Let's have a listen to what that sounds like in a mix where there's bass and drums going on. Yeah, it's a little bit too big and a little bit too fat, isn't it? Everything's starting to sound a little bit muddy in the bottom end to my ears. So what we're going to do now is, again, something that I do 99% of the time on all my rhythm guitar parts, acoustic or electric, certainly always on the acoustic parts. We're going to shave off a bit of the bottom end of the frequency spectrum using a high pass filter. Once again, here's me doing that, and then you'll hear what it sounds like. So that sounds a little bit thinner, doesn't it? You might think, oh, I'm not digging that as a sound. But this is one thing that you've got to learn when you're recording. Sometimes what sounds thin and a bit nasal and boxy in isolation really works in a mix. And sometimes what sounds absolutely magnificent in isolation, especially through a set of stereo headphones, you put that into a mix and it can just be treading on the toes of the bass or the other instruments in the mix. It's about give and take. So just get the acoustic guitar out of the frequency range of the bass a little bit, and it will just tighten things up and make them sound a little bit less flabby. Here's that same high passed acoustic guitar sound once again, but this time in the context of some bass and drums around it. So hopefully that is, now a sound that we can live with. It's certainly a sound that I can live with. That is pretty much the process I go through whenever I'm recording acoustic guitar. I did it on both the rhythm guitar part on this track and the lead guitar part. If some of the steps there were a little bit sort of quick, then don't worry. I've got later on in this series of videos, I'm going to be showing you, some of the mixing tricks and just the logistics of using Reaper in my case. Just how you can kind of group tracks together and how you insert effects and all that sort of stuff. That'll be coming in a later video, but for now, that is how I record acoustic guitar, and now you know what to do. Go away and have some fun with it. So there you go. That's how I record an acoustic guitar. I use the DI output from an electroacoustic and treat it in the manner described there. Oh yes, don't forget there's a full tab for that little jam that kicked off the video in both Guitar Pro and PDF formats, along with a clip of me playing it and the backing track for you to play along with yourself, should you fancy getting your acoustic noodling head on, as I did just about half an hour ago when I recorded that. So yeah, there we go. All of that jam track, tabs, and that explanation you've just seen there, and all the usual stuff. It's all up on my Patreon page. There's the address, link in the description. As I'm sure you know by now, $3 or £3-ish a month, and you get access to all of these additional goodies that go along with these YouTube videos. And for everyone, whether you're a Patreon member or not, I'll share that acoustic impulse response that I are with you in the description to this video. And that is pretty much it for today, folks. Hope you enjoyed the video, found it useful and informative, and maybe even a little bit entertaining. And if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so, and why not drop me a like as well while you're at it. And don't forget, of course, the live stream every Friday 5 PM UK time, where we have a beer and a chat. Basically that's all it amounts to, but it is a great way to kick off the weekend, and I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.